Hello beautiful people, my name is Bridget and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all having an awesome day, and today we're going to talk about some Colourpop stuff. Now I do talk a lot about Colourpop on my channel, but today we're just going to do a big collective Colourpop must-haves in my own personal opinion. Of course we all have different tastes and stuff, but these are products from Colourpop that I think are like my must-haves, things I use all the time. And today's video is sponsored by Colourpop, but they didn't tell me what to pick. I chose it all myself, and I just want to talk about my favorite things. So without any further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. Also, can I tell you guys how insane it is to say that today's video is sponsored by Colourpop? Because it doesn't feel like a realistic thing for me. I'm just very appreciative of it. And let's get started. So I was thinking about doing things in categories. So we're going to start off with eyeshadow palettes, since that's everyone's favorite thing in the whole wide world. Every time I talk about eyeshadow palettes, you guys love it. So we're going to start with eyeshadow palettes, then go to face products, other eye stuff, and everything like that. So let's get started with the palettes now. I only picked out 3. I wanted to keep this very like concise video, not like too many million things. Now Colourpop knows they release a lot of products, but I picked out palettes wise 2 staples, not newer things, just staples that they have that I love, as well as 1 newer product. So the newer product I'm going to talk about is the Roaring Hearts palette. Now I did do a review of this collection, and the palette is neutral, it's simple, a good everyday palette, but I think the packaging on it is one of their best. So here is the Roaring Hearts palette. It has like a 1920s kind of vibe to it, but in a more elegant way, not just like the bold black and gold things you usually think of. So here is the inside of the palette. It is very simple, very neutral. It's a good workday palette, and also you can deepen it up to make it like a night out kind of palette. This shimmer here is sheer, but the rest of them are very full. And I know if you want something very light, this also be a good inner corner highlight too. So I think this palette's a really good staple light product. I also really like these 2 shades for the crease because they have like a little bit of warmth to them. I'm usually like a cool tone palette person, but something about these 2 shades in particular I thought were really beautiful. And yeah, this is the newer palette that I wanted to show you. Now the next palettes, I have used these so much, and I'll let you know that most of the products I talk about today are on my face. So I'll start off with the eyeshadow I have on, which is a very light neutral look, but it's one of my favorite looks to do. This is the Colourpop Flutterby palette. This is a staple. I am not a purple eyeshadow person, but when I tell you I love cool tones, that includes cool tone, like kind of purple grays. There's something about those tones that just really intrigue me. They look good on everyone. So the Flutterby palette, I cannot tell you how many times I've used this thing. Here is the palette up close. Of course I hold it upside down, but I just think it's so pretty. I don't really use the pressed glitter in here, but if you are into that, give it more of a bold look, you have the option of it. And I just love these shades. Now you have like neutrals like browns in here, but to me, these cool tone gray purples and these gray purples for the lid and everything, these shimmers and a little bit more warm tones with the reddish kind of brown purple mattes. It's just so good. Like you can deepen it up with like a little bit more of a warm tone, but the majority look can still be cool tone with these purples, which are like the stars of the palette to me. I love it. It's beautiful. And then you can do really simple looks with it that take no effort at all but look really put together. So this is a classy favorite, and of course one of my favorite things about everything in this video, it's affordable, okay? We don't need to overspend. We don't need to spend a ton of money on stuff we don't like. You know, if you get something from Colourpop and you don't like it, you're not out a lot of money, but most of the stuff I will say you'll be pretty happy with because they got some good stuff for the quality for the price tag is insanity. This is one of my favorite palettes. I've gotten so much use out of it. Another staple that is not necessarily exciting, I could show you rainbow palettes, but let's be realistic. Everyone loves a neutral palette. This one, my tried and true, this is the That's Taupe palette. This is one of my 3 go-to palettes for like weekend looks where I don't want to think about what I'm doing, but I want to look put together. So That's Taupe palette comes with this cool like snakeskin cover on it, and then on the inside it's one of these small compact palettes, cardboard packaging, so it's better for the environment than a plastic packaging. I just think this is so cute, and if you look at it you're like, oh, it's kind of boring. That's my favorite thing about it because I can mix any of these colors together and get a beautiful look. I can use any of these shades on my lid and it's going to look cohesive, you know? And I can also darken it up if I need to make it a little more dramatic. I just love how these mattes mix together effortlessly. And I don't have to think about my look, but I'm still going to look good at the end of the day because this palette is beautiful and the pigmentation on these mattes are lovely. And again, cool tones, like cool tones all day long, y'all. Those are the 3 palettes I picked up on must-haves. Now let's talk about face products like foundation and stuff. So this foundation, you guys, my foundation looks really nice today and I need a refill of this. I've used this product up. This is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Foundation. Oh my gosh, if you guys remember when this first came out, Everyone was talking about it because it really is just that good. It is one of my favorite things. It has hyaluronic acid in it. It's a hydrating foundation. My words got all mixed up from the cat distraction. But it's just a beautiful foundation. It is available at Colourpop sites, also available at Ulta. It's really easy to get and it's affordable. And again, like this is empty. I need to get a refill of it. I was getting the last little bit of it today. And for reference, I am in the shade Fair 20 in. Because I have a neutral undertone. But they come in a million different shades and the undertone's beautiful. The coverage is good. It's like a medium coverage. You can definitely build it up though. Beautiful. Now for reference, I do think I have a long wear test of that foundation. I did it when it first came out and you can see it through like after wearing it for a really long time. You can see it in the heat. It wears beautifully and makes your skin look dewy over time without being like super oily, greasy, which is nice. And for concealers, I would definitely recommend the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer. This is a medium to build up to more of a full coverage concealer. This is my go-to concealer for days where I don't want to look like I'm wearing a lot of makeup. If I am just going on some really light on my skin, like a tinted moisturizer or a light version, like a minimal amount of the Pretty Fresh foundation, I will use this concealer and this one alone because it just gives me enough coverage where I feel like I look better, I look more refreshed, and it doesn't have to look like I'm wearing makeup, you know? So this, I have the shade Fair 10 in for reference because I know a lot of you guys like to know what shades I wear of things. This is a beautiful concealer and I already have a backup of this because I was like, I'm gonna run out of this if I keep doing really light makeup days. So I have a backup. It's that good. It's worth picking up for sure. And it's cheap. Like it's cheap and it's good. Like you don't need to spend $30 every time you buy concealer, especially if you're not wearing a ton of it at a time. You just don't need it. Next up for facey things, let's talk about blush. Now, I have a lot of blush because for some reason I just think I need every single shade. I need them all, and anytime I'm like, ooh, free shipping is right there, I'll add on a blush. Just because I feel like I'll use it, you know? So let's talk about blushes. I have 3 we're going to talk about today. So as far as powder blushes, which are my regular everyday go-tos, the one I'm wearing today, which is very light, very subtle, but does enough for me, this is the Colourpop Just My Pluck pressed powder blush. I chose this one to wear today because again, look at my eyeshadow. It's very light, it's very cool toned, but it has a little bit of warmth on the outer corner to it. So that's why I chose this very minimal light blush, but it still does the job. It gives enough coverage on the skin where I feel like I'm wearing blush. It looks like I made an impact, especially when I fresh put it on. So I wanted something light and subtle, but just enough to do the job. That's my favorite kind of shade for days where I don't want to look like blushy and super warm. Like today I love the cool tone eye. I wanted to keep it simple on the cheeks, but just enough where it looks like I'm still alive, you know? Also, as far as blush things, they have quads, which are my favorite. I have 2 of the quads out of the 3 they originally came out with. They've expanded since then, but I've used these so much. So this one is the Extra Glazed Cheek Palette. They come in little quads like this. And for me, I like little things like this because 1, they don't take up a lot of storage. I don't like thick, bulky packaging. 2, I get different shades to work with. And 3, I love to mix. I love to like ding, 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 go in each pan, like every single powder pan. I'll go in all 3 shades, mix them all together for my look. And I just feel like it's nice, it's beautiful, it works, and the pigmentation on these is really nice, and also it has a super shock here. You can use it as a highlighter on top of your cheekbones as well. Or a lot of people use it on like the ends of their nose, like give it a little bit of pop too. I just think these cheek palettes are super good for the price, and you get 4 different shades. And it's nice and compact because I hate wasting storage space on big, bulky face palettes. Now lastly for blushes, I know not everyone wants to use powder blushes, so I'm gonna give you my favorite as far as cream products for their face complexion goes. This is the Cheek Dew. I believe this one, yeah, this one's in Hotline. It's my favorite shade of Cheek Dews. These blend out so beautifully. So if you put a little bit of the Cheek Dew on your skin like so, it's very pigmented, but all you have to do is blot it or rub it out, and it leaves a nice hint of color there that I usually go on top of my foundation with. So I'll put foundation first and then I'll blur out some Cheek Dew. I usually pick like a shade like this, which is very light but beautiful, and it leaves a nice dewy finish to the skin. If you don't put setting powder of your foundation, it's gonna leave a nice radiance to the skin that looks lovely. Or if you have like very dull skin, you can just put this directly on with a little bit of primer and it looks great. I really chose the Cheek Dew because I have a lot of issues with a lot of products not blurring out for me. Like I'm always scared it's going to ruin my foundation underneath, or it's not going to blur out and it's going to be really bold. Those work out beautifully. It's the right amount of creaminess that I need. Next up for eye stuff, the last category I want to talk about today. Eye stuff is a lot. There's so many products to choose from, so I narrowed it down to my absolute favorites. Let's talk about my favorite product in their eye category other than palettes. the Act Natural mascara. You guys, the Act Natural mascara comes in a brown and a black, and I must say I use the black one constantly. It is what is on my lashes today. I know I'm wearing fake lashes, but you can see my bottom lashes are black and separated, but not too chunky, not too spidery. It is the perfect in between. This is my favorite mascara that they have, honestly. It is just so good. I know you're supposed to throw away mascaras 3 months after you open them. I've been using this for at least 6 months and I have not had to switch the tubes yet. It's really nice. Like, I should change it out soon, but I have a hard time parting with it because it's just the best mascara. Like, for the price tag, you're not gonna beat this. Like, I know there's one other affordable mascara that I love too, but like, I just really like this one. Next up, something from the Roaring Hearts collection. We had the palette, and I also talked about the liquid graphics ink liners in there. This one's my favorite one. This one is Loveful. This is the black liner that I have for my eyeliner today. It's black, it's precise. I was worried it was gonna be a little too wet, but it's just right. I will tell you guys right now, the packaging on this, very simple. You get a little pod of the liner here, and it is black, precise, easy to use. There's no bleeding or runniness. It dries down nicely and it's just really easy to use. Like, as far as their eyeliners goes, I was super impressed with this Loveful, and also Loveful is a beautiful cardigans song, so I like had to try it, you know. The other eyeliners, they have like the gel liners, they have metallic ones and matte ones. The matte ones are my favorite, and I've been saying for at least 4 years now, Exit by Colourpop is the best white eyeliner. I have a lot of white eyeliners, I have a lot of nude eyeliners. Exit is one that I have multiples of because I just need them, and I love white eyeliner. It is the eyeliner that is my waterline today. I've been wearing this makeup for about 2.5 hours, and as you can see, there's no fading. It is still very white in there. I just have this pencil in there, no liquid in my waterline at all. It's just that bold. Exit is a beautiful cream white eyeliner that is pigmented. It stands out, it's long wearing, and it's nice. Like, I've really talked about this. I got my first one when their original Yes Please, their original first eyeshadow palette came out. I got Exit for the first time as like an add-on to my order. Never regretted that decision ever, and I've bought several of them since. Lastly, I want to give a quick shout out to a lip product from them. Their Ultra Mattes have always been a classic that I've gone to, but recently we tested out the new Hocus Pocus palette, the new collection they had. Oh my god, I was so impressed with the liquid lip cream, the French Kiss lip cream. This one is in the shade Hello Boys. It is the French Kiss lip cream from the Hocus Pocus collection. I was so impressed with the pigmentation of this. Like, let me just do one swipe so you can see it, just full coverage. I tried this on, and whereas I'm a matte lipstick person, I'm not really into creams, I was super impressed by the pigmentation and the color of this, because my issue with cream products usually is I don't want to see through it. I don't want to see my lip lines underneath. I don't want to have to put a bunch of products on. This is a one and done product. The coverage of this black liquid lipstick is absolutely beautiful. I was super impressed, and I'm going to try it on for you so you can see what it looks like real quick. Okay, so this is the Hello Boys French Kiss lip cream. I just have to tell you, again, I'm not like the cream person, but if I was, this would be the one I'd go to. I feel like so many people would love this because it's pigmented, it's comfortable, it's easy to put on, and like, again, pigmentation is amazing. I thought about doing the entire video with this on, but I just need to wipe my teeth, you know? I just, you know? And also, another thing from that collection I want to give a quick shout out to, while I'm wearing this beautiful lip, is the mirrors. They have hand mirrors now. They keep coming out with different ones in different collections. This is the Hocus Pocus one. Just like, I've been using it every day. It's so easy just to keep in my drawer and use. The little mirrors and the lip cream. This is like my fantasy. Anyways, you guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Honestly, if we're narrowing down my favorites list, because I have so many of them, if I would recommend someone who's never tried Colourpop before, get the Pretty Fresh foundation. You're never going to regret it. And try an eyeshadow palette. Those are my 2 favorite things from them overall, but all these things are good go-to must-have products that I'm going to keep in my collection for a very long time. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will leave Colourpop's site linked down below in case you're interested in checking something out. They also make really great gift ideas. They have super cute things for gifts as well, because, you know, I like giving people gifts that I think they'll get use out of it. And sometimes people don't buy makeup for themselves just because they're like, oh, I don't want to spend money on myself. It's nice to give people gifts like that, so I like to do that as well. So thank you guys so much. I will see you in the next video. Bye guys. Let me know your favorite Colourpop product down below.